Good morning, Service Alliance community. Hope you're all having a great Tuesday morning. How
Good
are you,
morning.
Jason?
Good morning. How you doing?
How you doing, Jason?
Doing all right. Doing all right. We're batting
Yeah.
down the hatches here in Illinois.
Yeah, major storms. The
Yeah.
whole Midwest was hit last night and
And
the
it's
night
still coming
before,
through.
pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. So hope you're all safe if you're in the Midwest area. If you're not,
Like
not safe, but if you're not in the Midwest area, enjoy the day.
yeah.
Yeah.
All righty. Let's say hi
Have
to
a
some
few
people. We got
Hey.
Jerry Parsons showing up. We got Jason Shadow and chiming in. Garrison Howard.
Gotta love it.
And of course, we got Adam. Good morning, fellas. Everybody else out there that's watching, good morning. Glad to have you
We got a
joining us.
very interesting topic today, talking about making data-driven decisions. And if you don't know your numbers, I don't know. It just why are you even in business? You're just I dare even say just pissing in the wind when it comes to numbers. You got to know your numbers. Otherwise, I just don't get it.
Numbers
We have
matter for some reason. I
numbers
don't know
matter a
why.
lot in business. Yeah,
I think
so
they matter a lot in life, not just
true.
in business, but in life. I think numbers are quite applicable to a lot of things.
But really, okay, let's talk about pie. How does pie actually matter? And I'm not talking
Because
about like
it
cherry or
tastes
apple.
so good.
I'm talking about the 3.14 dot 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 dot. Yeah, I've never
Well, I
really
mean, we're
figured that
not
one
we're
out.
not talking advanced algebra and
Oh, we're not? Okay.
advanced mathematics like that, because some things don't matter as much as others. But I
Yeah.
think I find it amazing that people don't understand basic math.
Yeah, 2
Just
plus
basic
2
math.
equals 22. We got it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're not wrong.
According to some schools, I am not. That's
All
scary.
righty. Class of wokeness 2024 graduate right there.
The wind is picking up. I just literally like I hope we have a stream through this whole thing. We'll see how that goes. It's nothing
Yeah.
like doing this stuff live, I tell you.
Yep.
Well, hey,
Fun.
let's break into the day. Let's break into the day.
All right. Let's open in prayer. How would you like to
Prayer
pray
is
for?
good. I'll say the prayer. Sure, sounds good. God, thank you for today, and I know sometimes we need the rain. So I thank you for the rain. And as far as all the other stuff is concerned, just prayer protection would be great. And thank you for our businesses. Thank you for those who are protecting our country and those men and women who are in the military, on the front lines, EMS services. I just pray a special blessing and prayer protection over them and their families today as well. And just be with us as we study this topic about making data driven decisions in our businesses and help us keep our minds open and alert. And maybe we'll catch something in this conversation today that will help us grow our business. And above all else, I just pray that people will see your actions and your love through our actions. Amen.
Amen, brother. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Well, today's verse is Proverbs 18:15.
Hmm.
The heart of the discerning acquires knowledge, for the ears of the wise seek it out.
That's one of those that makes you go, Say that again. Say that again.
The heart of the discerning acquires knowledge, for the ears of the wise seek it out.
That's good.
So the ears
So that
of the
means-
wise seek out the knowledge.
Yeah. God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, right? To listen more and speak less.
Yep.
That's kind of what I get from it.
Took me a long time, many years to figure that one out.
Yeah. Well, my wife keeps reminding me about that every day. You have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason.
I still get accused of not communicating right. I'm like, that's because
Oh,
I'm listening more than I'm communicating.
yeah.
She's not buying it though.
Well, hey, today we're talking about data-driven decision making. We're going to be talking about some different metrics that should be some of your key focus. Talking about some analytics tools, turning that data into some actionable insights, and a few other things. So, data privacy and security. I'm interested to hear what you have to say about this, especially so being in the field that you're in. So, let's dive into this. I'm always big on KPIs, right? Key performance indicators. And it's one of the things that I have taught for many years, both in my own business and in other businesses. And so I actually have some KPIs that I'd like to share with you. And, whether you have electrical business, a plumbing business, I've got those benchmark numbers for you. So I've got an electrical business right here. Some of the KPIs you should be tracking is like your gross margin. And the benchmarks that I have are national averages that I have seen in businesses throughout the years. And these were updated earlier this year. So 60 to 70% or better on the gross margin, 15 to 20% or better on net profit. And the sad thing is, on most businesses, contracting type of businesses, that net profit is usually, if they're doing 3 to 5%, they consider themselves successful. Now think about McDonald's, right? The fat laden nasty food that they serve. Sorry, McDonald's. Um, but the average McDonald's franchises nets 27% profit per franchise. And that may actually be up now. But now I think us as contractors who are making your home safer and more comfortable deserve a heck of a lot more than 3 to 5% net profit. So charge what you're worth because you're worth it, right? Revenue per service vehicle, 300% or 300,000 or better. Average ticket, 615 or better. My last year, I was at 1127 as an average ticket. And I pride myself in just being able to help. Again, always going back to being the honest service expert in helping customers out. But direct labor rate, this is your direct field labor. Some say 22, 23%. I always kept mine at 20% direct labor. Overall labor in your business, I always had about 33%, so about a 30-year business. And that's all overhead labor. Material costs 13% or less. That's hard to do in any business. But in the electrical world, uh, mine was realistically 13 to 15%. On average, there are sometimes I could get it under that 13%, but it was tough to do, especially as COVID hit and the prices of things kept going up. My prices had to keep going up to pass that on to the client customers. Marketing expense. Now, this one really ranges depending on how much you want to really hammer and market your business, but 7 to 12% overall. CSR conversion. So these are the guys and gals answering your phones, booking those calls, 85% or better. I know that's our metrics that we use here at my office help and what we always used for service detectives. But we actually are about 93% in our conversion currently. Um, so service expert conversion, that's you guys out in the field, you guys and gals, should be 75% or better. God, it better be way better than 75%. But this is again that national average in the electrical world. Maintenance plan conversion should be 25% or better. Let's jump down here and just take a brief look at appliances. Appliances, if you're in the appliance repair world, gross margin 50% or better. Net profit 15 to 20%. Revenue per service vehicle 225,000 or better. Average ticket 225 or better. Me coming from the electrical world, when I sat down with EJ and some others and we started hammering out these average KPIs, I was just like 225. That's it. And you guys are worth so much more. So we've been figuring out ways to help that average ticket go up. But this is the national average right now, 225 or better. I think you guys are worth a lot more. Direct labor rate, again, 20%. Material cost, 8% or less. Marketing expense, the rest are about the same. But yeah, average ticket, man, in the appliance world. we've got to get that up. We've got to make it better. You guys deserve a lot more. But anyway, those are some KPIs that I wanted to share with you. I know we were take up a little bit more time on that, but these are important data-driven numbers that you need to know. Yeah, if you don't know, imagine if you're running a shop and let's imagine, let's just get completely out of the contracting world. Let's imagine you're running a coffee shop. Your KPIs might include like daily foot traffic, average spend per customer, and repeat visit rate. You could just set up a simple spreadsheet like this, or use a tool like Google Sheets to track these metrics daily, right? So it's you got to know. No, it doesn't matter what kind of business you have. And in the appliance world, you may have a retail store, right? You could track metrics like your sales per square foot, your average transaction value, customer retention rate, things like that. So there's all kinds of fun stuff when it comes to analyzing your data and getting into that. So yeah,
That's great information.
yeah, good stuff. I love
A
teaching stuff
a
like this.
lot of people don't really look at their numbers like this. They don't look
Mhm.
at they may look at their own numbers and think they're doing great. Maybe they've had growth, you know, 10 to 20% year after year, right?
Yeah,
Which is pretty decent. Especially if it's around 20%, you should target 20% growth year after year.
yeah,
And but that 20% growth doesn't mean crap
yeah,
if you're not also looking at the national averages to find out if you're even staying up with that, you know.
yeah,
If you're growing, that's great, but if you're not growing with above the industry average, then you're not growing.
yeah,
You're still behind. You should always strive to be quite a bit above the industry average,
for sure.
because nobody wants to be average.
Nope.
Average is for suckers.
Yeah. And then jumping on into let's talk about different things that you can use. Like, what are some different analytics tools that you use in your business?
I use a lot of different tools in my business.
Yeah.
Um, Obviously for the web stuff, Google Analytics is good. Um, Search Console, things like that. And I mean, I use a myriad of other tools and, rank trackers, things like that. But that data, you can't use just one tool for data.
Hmm.
You have to look at multiple sources of data
Yeah.
for similar things. So all the web and SEO analytics that I look at for my business and my clients, I use a multitude of tools, and then I combine it all and discern it all and analyze it all kind of separately, because
Yeah.
you have to understand every single tool will analyze things differently.
Yeah.
And garbage in means garbage out.
Yeah.
So you have to know exactly how good your data is that you're analyzing.
Yeah.
And you have to understand nothing is ever, ever, ever going to be 100%.
Yeah.
The data is never 100% correct, ever. So you've got to use some judgment there, and
Yeah.
look at the overall picture. Are you trending the right way? As long as you're confident in what data you have, that it's mostly correct, then you're good. And
Yeah.
you can track it, and you have to have that data consistent, right? So
Yeah.
month after month or week after week, you've got to consistently have that data
Oh yeah.
be be entered the same way. It's You can't change a lot. You can just update the data.
I know a
But
lot of contractors in here, they use like House Call Pro or Jobber or Service Works or something like that. In those, there's a lot of data, right? You have a ton of data. You can take data out of that and determine what your ideal prospect is for a customer. You can see your average tickets. You can see, I mean, there's
mhm,
so much data. I know Andy just chimed in. He's a exterminator. watching the show. He uses House Call Pro, and I know there's a lot of data that we've been able to help him out. So let's talk about social media, right? So social media, what are you using for social media? I use Loomly to post all of our social media stuff on all of our different social media channels, including YouTube. And about once a month, I go in there and I look at the analytics for the last 30 days and the previous 30 days and that to see what's doing well, what topics are doing well. As Mike mentioned, um, I about once a quarter to get us prepared for our quarterly meeting with the team. I go in there and just see how many new subscribers, likes, and followers. Like so, in the past 3 months, we've had 77 new followers and across all of our platforms. So I'm able to share that, and I'm able to see which platforms are doing better than others, and I'm able to see which topics do better than the others. I'm able to see what picture or what video did really really well, and maybe I want to reshare that in the future. So even when you're looking at your marketing, right? What tools are you using to see if you're only on Facebook? Cool. Facebook even has analytics. Go on there and see what's doing well. Maybe there's a topic you want to reshare because it did really well. Maybe there's a funny picture that you shared that got a lot of likes. You may want to recreate something like that, right? And keep that trend going. That's why I do motivational Mondays on my Office Helps Facebook page and across our platforms because people love to see that motivation on Monday, first thing, right? So,
And I mean, you gotta realize you could post something one day at
mhm,
one time. You're only going to have a certain percentage of your audience is going to be there to see it.
yeah,
You'll have a lot that are just going to miss it, and you may have to repost things multiple times to get the
yeah,
best possible coverage and visibility that you can. A lot of people consider that spamming, but you know what? So what? I hate the word spam because you know what? It works. It really does work. Otherwise, people would have gave it up many decades ago.
yeah. Here, I'll share this one. Okay, I told you I'm a data geek. I love data. Mike, throw this one up there for me. Now, according to Loomly, right? I went through every Loomly channel every time, and I figured out because every time I went to go post, it was like, all right, this is not the best time for you to post this. So I would adjust it and adjust it and adjust it. I'm like, man, I'm spending a lot of time just adjusting this. So I took about 3 hours of my time and I went through and I created this. What Loomly suggests on each of my pages are the best times to post. So if you want a copy of this, just hit me up. I'll be glad to share it with you, or I'll put it out on the Service Lines group page. But um, again, data, simple spreadsheet, created this. And now I can save probably about 15 to 20 minutes every time I do a social media post because all I got to do is look at this. And then about once a quarter, I'll go through and I'll reanalyze this. Is this still good times, right? So even when it comes to your marketing, gotta look at the data.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's good.
yeah.
There's a lot of tools that'll give you that information,
Oh yeah.
but you have to use it enough to be able to worry about that information, right?
So
Um, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so what do we do with all this data, right? Yeah, turning it into actionable insights. So what do you do with a lot of your data that you get? How do you turn it into things that you actually use?
Well, I look at the trends. Trends are the biggest thing. So if I see something trending upward or downward, okay, what caused that trend to start happening?
Hmm.
And then you have to start analyzing the data and you have to start correlating things. Was it one thing or was it multiple things? Because everybody does this, spray and pray approach in most
Yeah.
cases. They do multiple things and then, oh, it's working. Okay,
Yeah.
what's working?
What's working? Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
you did 100% of, you did 10 things. So that's 100%. Maybe only 2 of those 10 things actually worked, and
Yeah.
the other 80% of the things that you tried didn't affect anything.
Yeah.
So it's really hard, and this is why, like, search engine optimization takes so long,
Yeah.
because you have to analyze that and you have to change one thing at a time, see what helps,
Yeah.
change another thing, see what helps. And that's the only way that you can accurately make changes that are going to be positive, right?
Yeah.
And like I've done this so long that I just know what is going to work and where I should put my focus on.
Yeah.
But you still have to track those things, because even though I'm only focusing on that top 20% of the things that move the needle, I still have to track those 20%
Hmm.
to make sure that that 20% doesn't become part of the 80%,
Yep.
because things change. Or maybe something in that 80% now moves the needle more than it did before, with
Yeah.
an algorithm change or whatever. Um, so I actually just had that happen with one of my clients. I saw something spiking, like
Yeah.
out of the ordinary spiking. Like his SEO went off the charts. And I'm like, okay, what did I do that moved that needle? Why did Google like it? Why
Yeah.
did the algorithm favor it? And then, after a few days, it normalized and
Mm.
it came right back down to where it was. And I'm like, I really didn't do hardly anything that would have affected that much
Yeah.
favoritism. And so that tells me
Hmm.
Google was testing their algorithm. Maybe it put him into an experiment, which happens, and that experiment favored him a lot.
Mm.
And then they pulled him out of the experiment, because that
Yeah.
happens. So
Interesting.
those are the types of things that I have to do, as a techie geek guy, in that aspect. But social networks work the same way. They can favor you one day and not favor
Yeah.
you the next, and you can
Yeah.
have that little blip.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, you have to know what you're dealing with as far
Yeah.
as the environment, and in my case, that was the Google algorithm. And I
Yeah.
have to understand that environment and what they do, because most people don't know that they get put into experiments once in a while.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I think you made a great point. Don't just collect the data, right? Use it to make informed decisions. Look for patterns and correlations that can drive those adjustments in your strategies. So like if you notice a sales spike on Fridays in your business, maybe consider launching promotions or special events on that day to capitalize on that trend. You could create a simple insight to action framework. For every piece of data, ask, what does this data tell me? Why is this happening? And what can I do about it? You know, documentation, spreadsheets, you know, do everything for this, because those insights, those planned actions, they could do so much for your business, right? And then constantly reviewing them and adjusting those strategies based on those outcomes. I mean, you can't just simply say, "Hey, it's a one and done thing," right? Every week I'm looking at my analytics for social media for marketing, because that's my job now, right? If I was back in the electrical world still doing service calls, I'd be looking at my analytics. All right, what are customers liking right now? What are they needing? What do I need to promote more? Maybe I needed to do a sales on this, right? Um, in the appliance world, man, there's so many cool things that you guys get to do. That is a nice add-on fit, right? And again, you'll always hear me preach, honest service expert, not a salesman, right? What are things that customers truly need and want to make their life more comfortable and safer in their home, right? Those are the things that you need to be hitting up on.
I
So,
think I think as business owners, especially service companies, I think you're gonna have some islands of data.
mm,
So you may have
islands in the
your
stream. Yeah,
you may
go
have
ahead.
your KPIs like you showed originally, like your
Yeah,
average tickets and so forth, and your basic sales numbers, and how you're doing. Um, that might include your reviews percentage, things like that.
yeah,
Um, So that part might be one island. And then you have your marketing information, which is going to be
Mhm.
your social media, SEO, traffic, things like that for your website.
Yeah.
And that's going to be an island. And then you're going to have your actual financial data that's going to be, your say QuickBooks information and
Mhm.
analytics. So there's going to be multiple areas of your business where you need to focus on each one of those separately
Mhm.
and then look at it as a whole. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm doing all of this over here in my digital marketing, but how is that affecting my actual bottom line? And now I'm seeing my digital marketing working, but my average ticket isn't growing. I'm not
Mhm.
making any more sales. So that means I've got a training issue or I'm just not good at selling jobs
Yeah.
or
True.
I'm not changing anything or I'm not answering my damn phone. I
Mhm.
think that's one of the biggest problems that everybody has. They just don't answer their phone and
Yeah.
they're not capturing every possible opportunity that they can. And I mean, I just wrote a book, and in that book, I literally say, if you can't answer your phone, you do not need digital marketing whatsoever.
Mhm.
I mean, don't waste a dime on Google Ads or anything else. Don't even waste your time on any of it if you're not already answering 100% of your phone calls.
Yeah. That's good.
Because no, why would you need more calls if you can't even answer the ones that you already have?
True.
And then you should work on getting better at selling jobs, things like that. So that's just my little take on it and kind of a rant. But um what about data privacy and security? I
What
think that's a
about data and privacy security? This is I don't know. There's a lot of things that go into our business about this that we hire a company that takes care of this for us. Firewalls and things like that. So I'm not as sharp on this one as probably you are. So that's why when I said this from the beginning, I'm like, I'm interested to hear what you have to say about this.
all right. You if you're using the same passwords, I'll I'll just say this. If you're using the same passwords for every website or multiple websites, you need to stop that right now. That
Mike
is
Carson rocks 123 at doesn't work. Okay, got it.
no, it does not. And you can try that all day long. That is not going to work on any passwords that I have, any accounts that I have.
Oh shoot.
um use a really good password manager. Um I use one password is the one I use for me and my team.
So one
And
password is your password?
no, that's the password manager. The number one and then password
Got it.
is the name of the tool that I use, and LastPass is another really great one. You can use both of them in team environments, which is
Yeah,
what I love because what I can do, I can't speak to LastPass because I haven't used it in many years.
yeah.
But as far as team management, I'm able to kind of make buckets, and
Mhm,
each employee has access to the passwords that are saved in those buckets. So my content team has a bucket, my web development team has a bucket,
mhm,
the marketing team, sales team has a bucket, and then I've got my own master bucket that's personal, and they each have their own personal ones. And you, I can move a saved password
mhm,
from my personal and share it to one of those buckets. And then I can remove it from one of those buckets at any time.
mhm,
So it's a very easy way for me to share a password, a login safely with my team, say to a new tool that I just bought.
mhm,
And then I don't have to email them the password or log in or share it on, the chat messenger or anything like that where it's insecure. All they
Yeah.
have to do is just visit that website. I share the website link and say, go here to log in
There you go.
and open up 1Password, and it'll automatically put it in there for you. And it's
Right.
great.
That sounds pretty easy. Like,
It is
passwords
easy.
can be a pain in the butt, and so that actually sounds pretty easy. Hmm,
It's very easy, and it is great for a team setting. So,
hmm,
um, I highly suggest that you do that and start using something like that. There's a free one out there that's pretty dang secure, and it's called Bitwarden, like a warden in a prison. So
hmm.
Bitwarden, it's a nice free one, and they do have some pretty cheap paid ones if you're wanting it for team management.
Yeah.
So it's free as far as, personal use if you're a one man show or something like that or something. But that should definitely be something that should be your prioritization number
Mhm.
one.
Yeah.
Okay. I always said security starts at home.
Yeah.
So password management is number one. And just as equal to password management is virus protection.
Mm,
There
yeah.
is nothing worse than not have I pay for a virus protection, and I've got 25 seats on my plan. And every one of my computers here at home, all my children, my wife's computer, all my laptops all have it installed. And I also give license codes to all my team members.
Mhm.
So before I give access to anything, I make sure that all my team members have that installed, because I can tell you from experience, don't ever share sensitive information unless you know that that other person has a very secure computer and
Yeah.
virus protection. Because I had that happen once where I shared information with my server guy, and he had a Mac that back in the day when everybody said, "Oh, Macs
Mhm.
can't get viruses, they can't get any. They're the safest thing in the world." That was total bullshit, because
Mhm.
I shared it with him, and he had a keylogger on his computer,
Mm.
and my client got hacked, and I lost a
Yeah.
client over that.
Yep.
Because I trusted that he was secure. And that's one of the dangers when you're dealing with, you know, your
Yeah.
friends helping you out, or,
Mhm.
a third party who's not directly part of your immediate team.
Yeah.
So keep all that in mind and make sure that you're safe and secure. Um, I could go on and on and on about that, phishing emails,
It
things like that. But a lot of that stuff is out there. But definitely the two top things: make sure you get real good password management, either Bitwarden, LastPass, 1Password, and then get some really good virus protection. Um, I used to use who are you using for
it all goes through our, tech company, and so
your tech
they set
company?
it. Yeah, with all the computers and all the infrastructure we have here, we've hired a third party tech company that is local, that takes care of all of our IT needs. They take care of our firewalls. They take care of our, um, I mean, everything is taken care
Your
of through
entire
them.
network?
So we pay them a lot of money to do this every
Yeah.
month, but it's
Well,
more secure than me or Austin or whoever trying to manage all this. Plus, we have insurance on top of that. It's, just in case something happens.
right.
I mean,
Well,
you got to realize, you as a contractor, how many hundreds of clients that you're dealing with, on a yearly basis. And then with us as your office, you know, times all the clients that we have, times the amount of customers that they have. I mean, we're
right.
dealing literally with thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people's personal information. And so we've got to be very careful and diligent in that. So that's why we spend a lot of money on making sure we're a very secure.
Right. Well, my son has a cybersecurity degree. and he works for one of those companies like you hired
Mhm.
to take care of the network. That's what he
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
And um I was using Kaspersky internet
Bless you.
security, and it worked great for many, many, many years. And I'm like, but they're Russian owned. Like, I had to get away from
Mm.
the whole Russian owned thing.
Yeah.
Even though that their American division was completely separate, and separate entity, it still had those ties.
Yeah.
So I started talking to him. I'm like, I got to get away from Kaspersky as much as I love it.
Bless you.
I need something just as good, if not better. And Bitdefender
Yeah.
is
I've
the
heard of that.
virus protection that he told me to get. He says it's the best on the market. It's
Mm.
American made, American owned, and American developed. So I got it, and it was a very lateral cost for 25
Hmm.
seats, 25
Cool.
licenses. So it's a very, very cost effective solution for multiple devices. And I mean, I'm not talking just computers and laptops. It even has security for your phone.
Yeah.
So I'd
That's
highly
cool.
recommend that. And I've been using it for a little over a year now, and I haven't had a problem with it slowing anything down. So um you want
Oh,
to talk
very
about
cool.
privacy and security? Those are my recommendations. And I mean, we could go so deep into this, but
That's for sure.
we don't have time, and we got to wrap
No,
things up. So
it's fun how time flies when you're talking about things that you're passionate about, and I think
yeah,
this is a topic Mike and I both find very passionate. So, just to recap real quick, uh, we've covered key performance indicators, what metrics should matter to you most, uh, utilizing analytic tools, turning data into actionable insights, data privacy and security was a big one. So, a lot of these, you could just take and make these data-driven decision making. You can make it an engaging and effective part of your business strategy. So, anyway, I hope y'all got something
absolutely.
from this. If you did, pay the fee. Go simply hit that subscribe button to My Office Help, ITD Web Design, and the Service Alliance Group's page. Um, Mike, you got
And
a
all
mastermind
access
coming up.
members, this Saturday is our mastermind. Go to the
Yeah,
website, sign up. All access membership is free and included. You can only access it if you're an all access member of the Service Alliance Group.
very cool.
This is something special that we do only for our mastermind members in the all access group. So
Sweet.
we'll definitely be there talking about some business planning and getting some good insights on that.
Y'all make it a great week and happy analyzing.
Have a good one, guys.